Okay. Let's see, can I be heard on here? Mm,
Why are you scaring me like that?
I'm on live.
I didn't say anything.
Be quiet.
I didn't say anything.
You should not talk again. See if it's making any sound. This phone kind of crazy. YouTube sound check. Sound check for YouTube. Sound check for YouTube. Sound check for YouTube. Okay, now let me do the sound check for TikTok. Sound check for YouTube. Test it, YouTube. Now let me do you. Let me do this one. Hello. Sound check for TikTok. Sound check for TikTok. Can we get it? Sound check for TikTok. Sound check for TikTok. Sound check for YouTube. Okay. All right. TikTok. I'm running. Good. Check it, check it, check it, check it, check it, check it. Hi, Ariel. Um, Arlo. I'm sorry about that. Hi, Arlo. All right, we can hear. We can hear. So let me get started. Let me get started on both of these platforms. Oh, hello, this is Shanda, baby Tara. All right, welcome YouTube over here. Welcome TikTok over there. All right. So what I come to, if you're not into political readings, then you might want to leave the room. But if you are into political readings and you kind of want to know what's going on behind the scenes, not just what they tell you or what they say, but what Spirit is saying, because Spirit will get into it and will get into the tea. Because Spirit likes to get into the tea, even with uh, spiritual, even with politics, excuse me. Because, yeah, oh, and this fell on the floor. And this is for, I'm going to show this to the TikTok book, and I'm going to show this to YouTube. These are secrets, okay? That's what this card is about. Secrets, educating people, um, trying to help you find out what's behind it. Sort of if you have some type of disease, and if you want to know the etiology of it, where it comes from, then you'll have to study the body, anatomy and physiology, which goes deeper than just the disease. It goes, down to um, physiological, how the body and how the body works together with other systems and how they come together. So that's kind of what this book is about, educating. First you're going to see the surface and you see the disease and you see the symptoms. Okay, but then we want to know what's going on. So we go in behind the shadows with physiology and anatomy. And if we want to get even more down to the cells, we get into the biology of it, and we go deeper and deeper and deeper until we are into the rabbit hole. All right. So the rabbit hole we going down today to exercise these to I was gonna say exercise these demons. They could be, but exercise the truth. Get it out of there. All right. And again, welcome. If you have just came upon me, I thank you for staying. I do appreciate it. I'm doing it on YouTube as well as TikTok. So I'm making a video live on YouTube. Um, what I want to discuss here is the Michael Cohen situation. And if you're a political head like me, then you'll understand. If not, then I'll try to bring it down and finesse it down to what I can at a level. So Michael Cohen is this man who has been he was the lawyer for Dementia Don, and you have to kind of say his name sometime in a different way because people do not want you to say that. But we all know who Dementia Don is. The young United States man. Okay, man, not man, man. I am very Southern, so I will mispronounce words or say them with a full Southern drawl. I do apologize, but that is just who I am. All right. With that being said, he was a lawyer for Dementia Don, and he fixed things that Dementia Don wanted fixed when he was being nasty towards the ladies. Somewhere I have to use code words, but everybody in here should be grown, so you know how to hook up the word to what it means. So he was a, being disgusting with women, the Dementia Don, because he's known to be uh, disgusting with women. That's proven, so it doesn't have to be alleged. It's within the crimes of that he's committed, the 34 felonies, and the women that he has raped. Okay, so with that being said, he was running around and um, fixing it for him, which would use intimidation, legal tactics, and legal intimidation uh, for women. Okay, and so we were very aware, and it was very transparent that he does that. Okay, that's his job, and that's what he did. Everybody know who he was. So after he did some time in the pen, and they treated him like a dog. Okay, then he came out and said that Trump just did this and Trump did that, and he was under the assumption somewhat like he regretted it. And he used to be on this podcast called Midas Touch. Okay, this is a very left leaning podcast, and so he was on there. But I always looked at him as if something was totally off. It's like a relative that you have, and you try to be nice, but you always know something a little off about him. Um, that soul just ain't souling or something like that. So he used to be on this podcast called Midas Touch, and he was all against Trump. But I was always under the assumption I never really did trust him because the reason that he was against Dementia Don was because Dementia Don didn't help him get out of what he was supposed to get out of, and he was in jail living below his means because he is a person that has always had everything that he wanted, and he got it doing anything such as harassing those women legally or paying them off, which he went to the slammer for. So he never was really, to me, a person that was, oh Lord, he just never fit the thing of, oh, I forgive me, and I don't want to do this no more. He was more the same. The only thing the only reason he showed his ass was that it was like you showed him, you did it to him. He's sort of like that Marjorie Taylor Greene woman. She's not sorry for anything. It's just that it was done to her, and some people are like that. If it does not personally happen to them, then they don't know. It could be okay. They go and they let that happen to others. But when it personally gets into their family and into their life, and then they'll say, oh, well, I see what it really means now. To me, that's not a person to be trusted because that person has only their own self interest out. So now flipping on, he is flipping on. He never really was to me all the way left because I always still thought he was a Republican, and I would watch him on the podcast, but I always knew he was a Republican. But I liked that he was against Dementia Don, and I liked what he had to say because he had some background inside information, which he does because he was helping him intimidate women. All right, that was his job. Okay. So one day, and I'm really interested in these nasty steam files coming out. I'm really interested because it holds a lot of treasures about these people that we uphold to a high level because they have so much financial prowess, but they don't have moral authority of anything. All right, they can be a billionaire and still be the biggest devil and bust hell wide open. But that's just my opinion. All right. So what happened was I was always watching Midas Touch. I like it. I like the podcast and I watch it. And so he was on Mia Copa beat down and all this. They would punch their fingers and say, who they give their middle finger to, that who they that segment. And it was a segment in which they started talking about the nasty steam files. Okay, I guess I know everybody know what the nasty steam files is. If you don't, I don't know. The nasty steam files. And then Micheal Cohen got kind of squirrely. That's the first time I saw him, and I said, seems his mask is a slipping because I never did really like him nor trust him. But that's just my opinion of him. He don't like me, and I probably don't give a damn, and he don't give a damn. I don't like him. So I was always a little bit on the edge with him. And then they talked about Dementia Don being on in the files, and in the files, the FBI were saying that he has been on those planes where they were going with, to get and do the nasty Epstein things that they do. He was on the plane more than they said he was on there. So this was written in black and white, okay? But again, it's still allegedly because we don't have no solid proof, but that's solid enough. It's in those files, okay? That's all I can say. It's in the files. So with that being in the files, and he was on the plane, then Micheal Cohen was on. I saw him live, 3K. I'm not 3K, 4K, 4K. I saw him as soon as he said it. I didn't have to go back a month later and see what he said. No, and he was like, "Well, I don't think that Trump, yeah, I don't think that Demetri Don was doing anything. At that time, he had some type of financial problems, and he probably was getting money from Nasty Steen or whatever." And I'm like, hmm. And then he went to talking and went to talking, and he was looking just like somebody that was trying to shake their ass out of something that they didn't mean to say. Like it just came out, it flew out his mouth. And that's the day he was on Midas Touch, and I looked at him, and I say something ain't right by Micheal Cohen into something else. Now it's the one thing to be running around here fixing crap for that sicko with grown women, but it's another thing to be with it with little people. And he was allegedly, well, not allegedly, it came out his mouth. He said that he was the one that they had a case about a little person, okay, against Dementia Don doing nasty steen things to these children, to this child. And he went to track her down and investigate her to see if she existed. She probably existed, but why would one give your address and you are trying to report such a powerful person? And somewhat you want to remain like they have John Doe or Jane Doe. Some people would like to remain in the shadows for their safety. And so he said he was tracking her down, and oh, she was telling stories, and like he was so gung ho on that nasty Dementia Don was not, you know, messing and doing nasty steam files with these little people. He was so confident about it. And who would be confident? I would never put my um notarize my tongue on body nobody too much, but definitely not Donald Trump. I would notarize my tongue and say that he didn't do that when he has quite a history of it and it's written down on his criminal record, okay, because he is a felon. We have a lot of people try to forget that he's a felon because only black people are felons, right? Only brown people are felons, right? Okay, but we got a whole president of the United States of America that has what 34 felonies, never spent a day in jail. Nobody knows anyone like that, and definitely we don't know any brown or brown or black people like that, because that one felony will send some people to to send them away for 50 years. 50. So we don't know nobody like that. Okay, that's some strange unicorn activity. 64 felonies and one include assaulting someone, and there's no jail time. Okay. So with that being said, Michael Cohen was one of the people that would keep the cases from coming towards him, like his blocking of Nasty Steen, so he could do whatever he wanted to do, long as he had the proper attorneys to get doggedly on it and pursue people. But now they said he was pursuing little people. Okay, so that's where it comes in. For around the way, I'm talking too much and blabbering. I'm sorry, but this is now what my reading is about. What is Michael Cohen's connection with these nasty Steam files? Because you got to look at it that these files go back. That's not what oh, they didn't turn me off. That's all right. That's fine. They didn't restrict it. They don't want you to talk about nothing. But if you're talking about anything ignorant that don't make sense, they'll let you play and get 19,000 likes, 20,000 if you're talking ignorant and talking garbage. Um, so we want to see right when I start, huh? Michael Cohen. I guess that's the key word they didn't want me to say. We're gonna say Mikey. Mikey, what is his connection to the nasty Steam files? Mike Cohen. What is his connection? Let's look behind the screen. Look behind the what you don't want us to see. Because it's something you don't want us to see, Mr. Mikey. Yes, Mr. Mikey Cohen. And all these readings are just allegedly. This is just by a country psychic. And the nasty steam files go back a while as well. These are not just files that were started when Obama was in office or some kind of charges started. This whole thing is a discombobulated set of files. Some owned and some are in different parts of the government. Some of the files are state oriented. They go back quite a ways. The whole thing is just a conglomerate of information that has something to do with Mr. Nasty Steen. But let's get to Michael Cohen. What is your connection, Mr. Michael Cohen, with these Nasty Steen files? In the middle of the reading and even putting the card down, we got this. This is fish and this is finances. So he definitely has something to do with it, according to me, and this is just allegedly. This is for finances purpose. And one thing that Mr. Mikey loves is finances. And he loves doing anything for those particular finances. Let's go ahead and see. A lot of excitement, a lot of talking, and a communication. This is Michael Cohen, birds and letters. This is communication. I'm sending things back to you. You're sending things back to me. This is telling me that he is definitely has worked on some of these cases that are attached to some of these victims. All right, allegedly. All right. He was a star here, okay? He was the hopes and the dreams. He was part of, Donnie's dream team here. We got inspiration, optimism, progress to a goal. One thing I can say about Michael Cohen, for whether bad nor good, he seems like a person, if he gets a hold of something, he takes it to the very end and he takes it personal that he gets down to it and um, he accomplishes what the client wants. Okay, so that's what he's doing here with this star. He was a part of some hope that he can wrangle you out of things. Okay, and he was known for that, wringing you out of situations in which it includes assaulting women or doing something you might not want your wife to know, getting ahead of it, in front of it, very and rather quickly. All right. Yes, okay. All right. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So this has something to do with him. He is in a case, and this is conflict here. This is the whip. This is the tongue lashing of people, calling people, threatening people in a legal manner. And this is all allegedly. That's what we have here. But after that, we have the secret. Okay, I'm arguing with you because there's a secret. I'm arguing with you because there is a secret that needs to not be revealed. It needs to be tied up. That's what the whip is. It needs to be tied up, wrapped up. And this is about Lily. All right. And this is a card about sensuality, is what, for my purposes, is what I use. We want you to be conflicted about some sensual act. All right. Sensual act, and we need you to keep it secret. All right. We need you to keep it secret because this is about snake activity. This is desire and deception, forbidden knowledge. We need you to keep the forbidden knowledge. I'm going to be the one to carry the message. So he definitely was in the file. He's definitely sending messages threatening people legally, knowing but not wanting to know who the actual victim is. He knew, but he's so wrapped up in finances, okay, that these people lie to themselves and they believe their own lies so that he can make it through and make it right for what he done because it's all about finances and money and living the good life. But if you really want to sleep at night, then you're going to have to lie to yourself. All right. So this was at the beginning of something. We got a Stark and we got a ship and we got a ring. The ring is partnerships. All right. This is a contract that somebody has. And this is the beginning of the contract, the beginning of their relationship of Micheal Cohen and Dementia Don. Okay, this was in his beginning of he was reaping the repercussions of assaulting people. Okay, and it was coming back to him at this point, and he needed the fixer to cut it off from starting. This was just his journey of beginning to great women and do things to women and little people, just allegedly. All right. He was, hmm, we got mice, we got fish, finances, and we got the sun. I will pay you if you shut the hell up. That's what he was with, first of all. And then if you're not going to shut the hell up when I pay you, or you're not going to accept what I'm going to give you, then therein lies some legal accusations where then they would come to people. First, they would do nasty private investigations of people fishing for something. In fact, that's what the fish is right here. Fishing for information about the people. And sometimes if you fish deep enough, you'll find something on somebody because no one is as sparkly clean as they tends to be. All right. And that's just life. And so he would find things out about these people or people connected. I'll find something out about your mama if you 15. I'll find something out about your daddy if you 15. Like it's something, or y'all got some legal issues hiding in the background. I can make those legal issues come through and come down, or I could destroy you in a way, and then even lean into the innuendo of harm other people without really saying it. Okay, a lot of these cases he was involved in, he had a lot of luck. This is the tower. This is solitude, loneliness, isolation. This is clover. This is you having luck. And this is you coming to a crossroad. A lot of these cases he worked on, I feel like this is just my opinion of the little people. And my spiritual opinion here is that he worked on at least 4 or 5 cases with these little people. Knowing that these were little people, but like trying to, what they call it, juxtapus. I don't think I'm saying the word right. Juxtapus or whatever it is. Trying to flip it and flop it and make it seem right so he can go ahead and get the money and he could be out of there. Okay, like, oh, they probably lying anyway. When he knew that man was disgusting. Okay, he knew that Dementia Don was disgusting as it could be. All right, and he had a lot of luck on these cases, and he would come like before they are even thinking about making a case. So Dementia Donnie allegedly would start assaulting people, and then a week later he'll be trying to get him on the case because he's trying to cut it off at the road, cut it off the crossroad before the decisions are made. So there'll be no proof, far as in a legal court system, like someone filing cases. These were cases that were cut off at the beginning, and he knows that he's a part of these cases, and he feels like it's a real bad case that he's a part of, that maybe he wasn't aware of the full name of the person or how this person is connected to the files. But he's got a feeling that one of these cases he worked on has something to do with two. I'll say two. That's my spiritual opinion. Two. Two of them that he worked on, he knows that they are attached to the files. Okay? So he'll get on TV because he's a similar to Nasty Dementia Don as well. He'll get on TV and say, "Oh, send him out, send him out, send him out." He know he can continue to say that because he has no effect on whether the files are coming out, and they are being covered up as we speak. The whole Department of Justice allegedly is covering all that mess up. It is a for sure cover up. Like I know people might know this, but a long time ago there was this company called Enron, and they committed massive fraud, massive billions and millions of dollars of fraud. Okay, and they say the last day that the FBI was coming in to get them, they were running around like crazy, deleting everything, shredding everything, running around, and that's kind of what they're doing in the Justice Department. Not accountable, probably what they're doing, but these are more electronic files, so it's probably more electronic forensic type stuff that they trying to wash off, take off, and they do got some physical files as well. Um, so he knows that there is some type of connection. So if I am answering the question, is he connected to some of these people in the nasty steam files of trying to get off Dementia Don off of these cases and these ladies and these little people? But I'm more concerned about the little people, and there are little people that he has got off. Okay, there are some cases of little people, and it could be two of those little people are in those files whenever they come out, if they come out or if they're leaked. But I feel like my spirit has told me over and over that those files will be leaked by different sources, okay? Because you got to, again, look at it like it's not one huge big file. That file that they're talking about is the file of the FBI, whatever that. But there are many other files that are being held, okay, by different departments. And whether they'll be meant to get up off of it, I don't know. But that one act, the Epstein Transparency Act, is just for their file, the FBI. But this is a long running file that is in different places, many different parts of this. There are some of the files which are in, allegedly, according to me and my spirit, overseas. Okay. And of course, we don't have any jurisdiction over there, but there are files there. There are things that can be leaked, okay, and not by us. And they would be very bad if someone else leaks it and then you never did put it out, okay? So now that we know he's in those Epstein files, as in there, such as there is someone that he was trying to intimidate, two victims, okay? And I stand on that 10 toes down. Whenever the files come out, then it'll wash itself out, and you'll figure out those two people, and then it'll be connected to him getting those people off. He'll try to act as if he didn't know and he was so confused, but he's not that confused. He is one sharp cookie, all right? He just be acting like he one short of it, so, to play the role. Now we know he did it. Then he went and he changed his stripes, and he said, "Oh no, Letitia James, she made me confess. No, what happens is in every dang on case where you got co-conspirators and this person, the person flips. That does not mean that the person's information is not correct. It's just the lawyer going there and tell you, look, this is what we got against you. You looking to go down for 30, 40 years. Do you want to tell me what he did? And so that is his coercion that he said that Letitia James did to him. If that's a crime, then everybody who is committing crimes with others and flipping on them and turning on their mans, like them, like the teenagers say, turning on their mans, then they will be coerced too. That's not coerced. You're just telling them what you want. You just telling them what you perceive as the truth and that they take as truth, but they don't take your word solidly. They got other things that they back up your word on. So you ain't being coerced because you was all in it to win it until they sent your ass to jail and stuck you in that room and you couldn't get the good food you like and the good clothes and the good cologne and all the lifestyles you have been accustomed to. That's what's the problem. He finally knew what other people went through. And he did, and he went through it. But that don't make you loyal. That just make you bitter, and that also makes you hold grudges. So you ain't gonna stay on one side too long, cause he wasn't there for that. Okay, and I never believed he was there for that. I just used to watch him and look at him, and I always keep my eye on him in the middle eye and the back eye. You just had to watch him. Like I say, let's see what is his motivation here. Okay, he's out of jail. He didn't starve in that cell. They didn't. He said they abused him. I don't know. Who knows? He said he did all them things to him. You know, Poe Mike Cohen. Yeah, yeah, Poe him. You know, and he didn't ruin all people's lives and helped them assault ladies and yeah. So at that point, he in jail. That's the only way he came to a crossroad. But this is not the only crossroad because he has Micheal Cohen is like a interstate, and he got many ramps off. Okay, many ramps off. To me, when I see him in spirit, I always felt like he was a chameleon. He could always be who you wanted him to be, even for an hour. He could be who you want him to be. All right. What is his? What does he want to get out of this? And I also, from my spirit of watching Micheal Cohen, I don't know. I think that his law license is suspended. I'm pretty sure it is because he's down for that time and he's got felons and all of this like that. They only let the president of the United States be a felon. You can't be a lawyer and a felon. So he lost his law license, okay? And I always felt and I could see that there was a air of jealousy that he had um, for Midas Touch, okay? The podcast on YouTube. And it was like, he just was jealous and I could feel it through the screen. He was jealous that that man still had his law license. He was practicing because I do believe he liked doing that line of work. He probably was set up for it because he's a little bit cutthroat and sharky. So he was kind of cut and he got the thrill out of being able to I'm getting into him. The thrill he got out of being allegedly, okay, of being able to lord over people and get them to stop what they're doing based upon his words and his accusations and his threats. All right, legal threats. I don't know if he was doing any physical threats, but he definitely was doing legal threats or getting close to physical threats as he could. All right, in a legal sense. I don't know how he do that, but that's how he did it. That's how he did it. Um, Now he's saying he, oh, Letitia James just made him confess, and all she wanted was the information about Trump. Yeah, because that's who she was investigating. I don't think she wanted to know about me. I don't think she wanted to know about you. So I'm not sure who he thought she wanted the information on. Everything he's saying don't make sense to me. All right. So I want to know what he want from Trump. Um, I don't think he'll ever be able to get his law license back. I don't know. But if he is pardoned, but that still to me doesn't, I don't think dictates what you did The bar would probably not look at that as okay, you're pardoned. That still doesn't mean that you didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know how that works. So we're gonna look into what is his motivation for turning around and licking up in the diaper. He has turned around and now he is licking in the diaper. When he went on TV, I think that was some kind of code word for Trump to start talking to him. Oh, she coerced me and told me, oh, you tell me everything you need to know about Trump. That's usually how investigations work. I'm not a FBI agent. I'm not a district attorney. But I know if I need information from you, I'm going to tell you how many years you about to get. Huh? Yeah, chicken. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. So, yeah, that's how investigations work. You're gonna tell people how much time they get. That's really how I live my life. Cause sometimes people be bothering you, and you be trying to hold your mule and hold your peace like that, and so what I do is I just calculate all the time I might get, and that keeps me out of trouble and out of the penitentiary, out of so many places. Because all I do is sit there. Okay, if I do that, oh, that's 17 years. Oh, if I do that, that's 15 years. No, and then so I settle myself down like that. But so that's the way you gonna threaten somebody. Tell them how much time they gonna get, and then they gonna start talking about stuff. And that don't make the stuff that they saying not true. That's mean. I just told you how much time you gonna get, and then you sung like a bird. So don't try to then go back and say whoop whoop what. So what is he wanting from Trump? What is this changing his stripes doing for him? What is his motivation in this? What is he planning on getting out of that? Because a pardon ain't really helping him. He still did time in jail. He won't be known as a felon, I guess, but you could be the president of a felon, and so I don't know what he doing with this. He want to start over new. That's in the middle. We got a Stark. The Stark is for change, transition, movement, a new cycle. He's trying to get back into something. Okay. I don't like I say. I don't know about the legal laws about if you are your law license is barred. Do you get it back just because you're pardoned? Because you really did do something. So all right. This to me, when I'm laying these cards out, are future crimes or future things. Okay, like I told you, it's something he's hiding that he's a part of, and just in case some of those things come out into where he can be charged with something. Okay, so this is my opinion of him. I do not think that he is physically in the files like in little people and Steam files. Okay. But he's just as worse if he is going around and trying to make sure that little people don't get justice. Okay. And making sure that the little people are covered up and no one knows what's done in the dark. You're just as nasty as could be, allegedly. All right, if that's true. But this is just a country psychic reading for entertainment purposes only. He is trying to start a new cycle and to get himself away from some type of secrets. And the only way to get himself out of a jam and a pickle, excuse me, if he is federal indicted because someone thinks that he knew that someone was underage. Okay, this we got the mountain and the sensual card is coming back up. The lily, sensual. All right, and we got the letter, which is communication. This is very difficult. This is why he's running back to Trump. Things have gotten difficult with what people are saying. The truth is getting closer than he knew. And the only person that can stop, if he is to have some future charges or future investigations, the only man that can cover him is the man with the pardons. Okay? So this is why he wants the pardon. Not now just for here. He wants some kind of blank pardon. This is a book, which is secrets. This is a start, which is movement. And this is conflict. I feel like he wants a blank pardon. I want to be a pardon as wherein there are whatever crime that was committed during this federal, I want it all washed off and I never can be investigated about it because I don't even know if there are crimes of limits of that limit of Lord, statutation limits. I'm sorry for what they are doing, but I do know that federal and state have different limitation and statutes. Okay, I do know that. I do not know the difference for those. And if he can be charged, or they can start some type of investigation and find other things which they can charge him with that the limitation has not been on. So he feels this is just in general. I don't know the law, but he feels that there is something that they can charge him with in the future and investigate him for, and that he can be connected. And the only man to cover him is the man in which he covered. Okay? Because you got to see they locked in. One can't lead the other because they both is owned with little nasty people. One is trying to defend them and hunt little people down so they don't get no justice, and or he can offer them a little bit of pennies. One is the actual corporate, allegedly, that likes to do things to little people. So we got a congruence here. They can't rock and roll without each other. Okay? So it's like somebody that go and do a robbery with somebody. Something happened. I can't say what happened because what happens goes with you. And especially in Texas, they got what we call the law of parties. Law of parties is you do it, I do it, we do it. No matter what you did and what was your small role. If you rode your bike there, you not guilty of capital murder. All right, that's how they roll in Texas. I don't know how they roll nowhere else, but we have that here called the law of parties. I be instructing my kids and my children on certain things, so you will know what kind of state you live in, and you know what you ready for. Okay, and one thing about Texas, they do love they love when they unalive you and you done did a capital murder. Oh, they get you out here quickly. So be careful when you're in Texas. Stay on your best behavior. All right. But they love the Second Amendment. You good on that here. But don't you start doing nothing else. You got to go. Let me get off that subject. We got a snake. We got a coffin. And we got an anchor. Somebody anchored to a dead man. He anchored to a dead man. And he know that the man ain't gonna last that long. So I think this is time. He did enough of making money in that racket of Midas Touch and act like he was kind of leaning to the left or whatever. But I was watching his ass, watching him, and he know that time is now for the dementia dawn. He see the writing on the wall for the health of dementia done. And it's time that he quickly get his tail over there so he can get future pardons and make sure he knows if that part of that file contains dementia done, that victim and that all them is together. So if dementia done wants to cover his ass, then he will also be covering Mikey Cohen ass, allegedly. So this is what he getting out of. He know what's going on. He know what's up. Um, let's see. Let me do something else. Let me see. What else can you tell me, Spirit? What else can you tell me, See, that's why I love my cards. I love the background because it gets you to the teeth of and it really just confirms what you know. Because some people just know. You know what I'm saying? But this actually confirms what you know. Because this spirit, and they don't have time to lie. They ain't got time to tell you all these stupid things. You know, they in the afterworld. You know what I'm saying? This world right here is gone. You know, other than them looking in sometime and seeing what's going on in here. Let's see. He is so embarrassed about He is embarrassed about the things which are being imagined that he do, because a lot of people may go to the just the middle and say, well, maybe he was doing that, and that's nasty, trying to intimidate the little people, but maybe he's not nasty like that. But then there are some folks that go all the way and they say, yeah, he owned it. Allegedly, that's what they say. He owned it. He owned everything. All right. And he just want to start over. This tile here is blank intentionally. And that goes to that start card that's right in the middle. So his energy is giving off, I need a new slate. I need starting over. This also gives me a insight. I feel like he wants a pardon and then he wants to leave the United States. Okay, that's what a lot of people want. They want a pardon and they want to leave the United States so they can act and forget about that. But hopefully one day the conscience wakes up, or just the karma. So the karma of it all, of suppressing little people so they can't get justice, may come to you. All right. He wants to move in so many directions and do so many things. He may want to go to another country and become a lawyer and continue to do it that way, because I think he knows if he remains here, he's never going to be seen but anything but the man that's in the nasty files. Because eventually, I don't know how long it is, but those files will have to come out and those people's names will be released. Except there, my spirit has told me that there is a file allegedly. My spirit calls me call that file red alert. Okay, and this is a file with super secret ultra people in it. And I'm not even talking about the nasty dementia Don, because it goes beyond dementia Don. I hope you all know this is way bigger than that. There are some people in secret positions of high power, like weaponry. So I say like the Defense Department or something, like somebody somewhere that handles super, super ultra um, files. And they are with doing nasty steam files. And there are a bunch of others, lots of people overseas, kings, um, princes, um, prime ministers, high positions. These people were in very high positions doing these very, very nasty things. And that is going to take a little bit more gumption to get dug out. All right. But eventually, the nasty steam files is going to come out and contain Republicans and contain Democrats and contain people who don't give a shit about politics, contain the ultra rich, containing all of your beautiful stars that you love that ain't right. They just ain't right. They playing a good movie, but they ain't right. They got all the money and they looking good and they got the family and everything. They got the Bible and they going to church and they doing all that there and doing something else, allegedly. All right. He want to leave before this thing comes out and the eyes are opening. He wants to go. He like, nah. And he has a position in his life. He's trying to figure out which way to do this. And remember, I told you he a shark, okay? So he's strategically placing himself and doing strategic things that step by step. This man doesn't do anything willy nilly and mentally ill like Donald Trump, just all off the charts and ain't doing and ain't thinking about nothing. He is very strategic. Okay, I can't even say that because I'm country. Strategic. He is very strategic. So he is going from this direction to this direction, trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this, how I'm gonna get this pardon, and how I'm gonna get the hell away from him and go to another country and see can I start another life there. All right. Let's see, because he is used to being loved. He was the fixer. Whenever they needed something, I don't even think he was just for Donald Trump. They're always for Dementia Don. They're always saying, okay, Dementia Don is what can I say? Mm, like Dementia Don was his only client. There are other clients and other things that he has fixed, different people. All right. Maybe not in the Epstein world, but there are other things that he has covered up for other people, other sick activities that he have got in the front of and did. All right. But this man here is chameleon. He'll be who you want him to be for the hour that you pay him. And that's my take on Mr. Micheal Cohen. And again, this is just a psychic reading from a little old country psychic. You can take it, you can leave it. All right. This has been Shan the Baby. Tara, thank you for spending these couple little minutes with me. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate my likes here on TikTok, 1,000 of them. I do appreciate you. It's just two people on here, but I do appreciate those two people with all my heart and all my love. And here on YouTube, right now, I just see one, and I am appreciative of that one. If you are either on either of these platforms, please like, please share. If you know of any place and you think that the country psychic can give a little more information on what's going on, I like to do political reads, but I do a lot of different, any type of reads. But right now, I'm into politics, okay? I'm heavy into politics and you know, what they doing and how they doing it because a lot of people don't like politics. I don't like politics. I don't like to discuss them. But then eventually there are parts of politics that touch your life, especially in the financial aspect. Even if you're not on food stamps or Medicaid or anything like that, what they do in the government can affect you financially. Whether you're doing super good or super bad or you're somewhere in the middle, they will touch you. All right. All righty. Let me see. What was this? All righty. Thank you. Bye bye.